Art lovers recently packed a Los Angeles gallery for a famous painter's first solo exhibition. But he didn't make his name in the art world. He made it on the streets. He's Chaka, a tagger once called the nation's most prolific graffiti vandal. LA officials claim he caused more than $500,000 in damage.
Am I glorifying my past of what I did? No, because now I'm doing it legally. I still use the name graffiti artist because if it wasn't for graffiti, I wouldn't be at where I am today.
After doing jail time, Chaka has gone legit, taking his paint from the wall to the canvas and selling it in art galleries and to collectors around the world.
The graffiti art form is an American-born art form. Right now, it's going up to heights where galleries are eating it up like hotcakes.
How does this, though, end up in a gallery?
Well, there's certain galleries that specialize in emerging artists, and this would be considered emerging art.
Shakuntala Zakheim is an art conservator.
That sense of rebellion is threatening to some people and charming to others. And there is an enthusiasm and an energy. It's its own thing. It's not going anywhere. And whether you love it or you hate it, it's here to stay.
Here to stay and attaining respectability in the fine art world. More and more major museums have been exhibiting works by graffiti artists. And prices for graffiti art reached a record high in early 2008 when this piece sold for nearly $2 million.
I guess I wanted to broaden my scope, broaden my audience, you know.
Retna became one of LA's top graffiti writers in the 1990s and is admired by other artists around the globe. But he realized he wanted to do more with his talents, and he wondered about all the time he had spent on large-scale street pieces that have disappeared.
I am trying to focus on doing more work that's going to be sustained because, you know, I remember looking at it, I could have filled, you know, 10 or 15 of these studios with large paintings of that scale. You know, hundreds of paintings that are they no longer exist.
So in the late 90s, he turned his focus to the fine art world, and his canvases now sell for thousands at established galleries. But he still likes working outdoors on public projects like murals.
The wall starts talking to you and it starts kind of telling you what's going on. So if I'm in my studio, this piece probably would have looked a lot differently.
But if it's on a canvas, hanging in a gallery, should it still be called graffiti?
It's only graffiti when it's graffiti. When it's illegal, when it's not where it's supposed to be, then it's graffiti.
Revok has been called the godfather of modern-day graffiti. The day we met up with him, he had permission from the property owner to paint this wall with fellow writers Rhyme and Duster.
Most people hate you for doing it, and you know, there's really no benefits to be had other than like a pat on your back from your peers, and you're risking everything, your life, your freedom, you know, everything to do it. And I think that single fact is what makes graffiti so relevant and what makes it important.
And profitable, too. Besides his own gallery shows, Revok has made a living as a graphic designer and artist for corporations hoping to cash in on graffiti culture. He's even cut sponsorship deals like a football star or top NBA player.
You know, I never even fantasized that I would have a spray paint sponsorship or be designing a clothing line with this company based upon the reputation that I've created for myself as a graffiti artist. You know, those type of things were unfathomable to me when I was a kid.
Advertisers and galleries may love graffiti, but a lot of people never will. To them, it's vandalism. Even as some graffiti art is selling for millions, cities like LA are spending millions to wipe it out.
I think the primary reason why graffiti has such a negative stigma attached to it is because of the gang culture here in Los Angeles. You could identify gang graffiti almost instantly. You know, it has a very different look than the type of graffiti that we do. The majority of it is ugly, and a lot of it is just kind of senseless vandalism, you know? I'm not going to defend that.
I think it's basically the difference between creation and destruction. I think that's different than one of these artists who are putting their intention to actually beautify the area and do it in the style, you know, that they appreciate and love.
And even the top graffiti artists who have established legitimate careers still find themselves drawn back to the streets because they say at the heart of graffiti is its outlaw roots.
If it was legal, then anybody could do it. But I think that is part of the thrill, especially when you're young, is getting away with something. I looked at it as a rebellious, political kind of act.
It's a really competitive, kind of ego-driven thing. You're just trying to outdo everybody around you. You're trying to do more, you're trying to do it bigger and better, and you're trying to do it, more creatively and with more style.
And they say it's that combination of competition, risk, and rebellion that has made it the art form it is today. For the generation that has grown up watching it develop, graffiti is an indelible part of the landscape of our popular culture.
All the products that I'm creating now with my kind of identity behind them are going to influence young kids in years to come.
I'm Vince Gonzalez for SoCal.